If you attended a No Kings protest, congratulations. You definitely got under Donald Trump's skin. He's made it very clear just how upset and insecure he is about it. While flying aboard Air Force One, Trump was questioned by a reporter about the record-breaking No Kings demonstrations. And, as you might imagine, his reaction was anything but calm. What followed was a complete meltdown, attacking critics, spreading false claims, and showing once again how thin-skinned he really is. We're going to break down exactly what happened and why this moment matters. But before we get into Trump's explosive response, the very first time he was asked about the No Kings protests, I'd like to quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Your support really helps us keep doing this work. Now let's start with the first falsehood Trump shared. This one about health care and immigration.
On the shutdown, do you want to see the premium tax credits extended if the Democrats vote to reopen the government?
Let me just tell you that there'll be no money given toward their crazy escalation of giving money to illegal aliens that came into the country totally illegally. I mean, they came in illegally. They want to spend $1.5 trillion, with a T, trillion dollars, giving it to people that came into the country illegally. They shouldn't have come in. In fact, one of the reasons they came in was to get this money. And California is a big culprit. I mean, California, they're out of control. And we're not going to pay California all of that money that they're giving away illegally. And that's another thing. Between California and Colombia, there's not that much difference. We're not going to be making those payments.
I'm going to keep repeating this every chance I get because it's important. Undocumented immigrants in the United States contribute roughly $100 billion in taxes every single year. Most of that goes toward payroll taxes, things like Social Security, Medicare, and unemployment programs that they themselves can't even access. You know who often doesn't pay their fair share? Some of the wealthiest individuals and corporations in the country, including billionaires like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and Mark Zuckerberg. And yes, even Donald Trump has faced serious scrutiny for the same thing. So let's stop spreading the false narrative that undocumented people are somehow taking from the system. The reality is they're helping fund it, often more than those at the very top. But instead of acknowledging that truth, Donald Trump shifted the topic entirely. Feeling politically vulnerable after the No Kings protests and the government shutdown backlash, he started rambling about how he could be a king if he wanted to. That wasn't even the question he was asked. He just went off script. Before we dive into his full No Kings meltdown, let's listen to what he said about that so-called king moment.
Besides San Francisco, are there other cities you're actively looking at for the National Guard right now?
Yeah? What about it?
I'm just wondering if you care to comment on that.
Well, we've used the National Guard to be very successful in Memphis. You can see the numbers are falling like rocks. Washington, D.C., Chicago is getting better, even though we're going through a lot. And, you know, we're trying to do it in a very nice way. I'm allowed, as you know, as president, like 50% of the presidents have used the Insurrection Act. They can use that, and everybody agrees you're allowed to use that, and there's no more court cases, there's no more anything. We're trying to do it in a nicer manner. But we can always use the Insurrection Act if we want. I mean, you take a look in the past, one in particular president used it 28 times during the course of a presidency. So we're allowed to do that. We thought we could do it in a very nice way. All we want to do is have safe cities. We're not looking for anything that would be spectacular other than crime-free become spectacular. We want to have great crime-free cities. So I'd be allowed to use, if I wanted, the Insurrection Act, and then all of this nonsense would go away. You have the absolute right. It's the strongest power a president has, and you have the absolute right to do it. We wanted to go this route, but we get sued every time you look at somebody. You look at somebody the wrong way, and you end up getting sued. We just want no crime. We want to have crime-free cities. That's not a big, I mean, it's pretty common sense, I think, but that's all I want is crime-free cities. I campaigned on it. It's become, I think, even more successful than we thought because of the tremendous success that we had literally in 12 days in Washington, D.C., and it continues.
It's pretty difficult to argue that you don't see yourself as a king when you're literally saying you can do whatever you want. Invoking the Insurrection Act, claiming that many presidents before you have done it, and insisting that you can win every court case, bypass every law, and overrule Congress. But that's not how democracy works. And that's the entire point. No president, including Donald Trump, can simply decide to act without checks or accountability. That's not strength. That's overreach. And here's the truth. Not only can't he do that, the American people don't want him to. Even beyond questions of legality or process, Donald Trump remains deeply unpopular on nearly every major issue. He's just hit a new low approval rating on the economy, which is especially striking since that's the one area his supporters used to claim was his strongest point. Many of us knew that was never true. The economic decline we're seeing now was inevitable under his approach, and voters are noticing. That's why so many people were out in the streets yesterday. And when Donald Trump was asked about those protests, let's just say he did not take it well.
Who are you with?
I'm with AP.
With AP?
What's your response to the protests over the weekend, the No Kings protests?
I think it's a joke. I looked at the people. They're not representative of this country. And I looked at all the brand new signs paid for, I guess it was paid for by Soros and other radical left lunatics. It looks like it was. We're checking it out. The demonstrations were very small, very ineffective, and the people were whacked out. When you look at those people, those are not representative of the people of our country.
Mr. President, besides San Francisco...
And by the way, I'm not a king. I'm not a king. I work my ass off to make our country great. That's all it is. I'm not a king at all.
Donald, I just want to make something very clear. I'm not paid to criticize you. I do it because I care deeply about this country. I don't need anyone to tell me to hold you accountable. It's not about hate. It's about responsibility. I wish we didn't have to focus on every misleading statement, every questionable action, or every reckless decision. But unfortunately, that's where we are. The truth is, millions of Americans, the 7 million people who showed up for the No Kings movement, are not motivated by money or politics. We're motivated by love for our country, for democracy, and for the belief that no one, not even a president, is above the law. No Kings wasn't just about one man. It's about the system that enables people with unchecked power, the billionaires, corporations, and political figures who manipulate the rules to serve themselves. It's about holding everyone accountable, from the boardrooms to the highest offices, when they put greed above people. These individuals, the ultra-wealthy elites, continue to hoard wealth, exploit workers, and suppress innovation to protect their monopolies. That's the real issue. This movement is about ensuring that America belongs to all of us, not just the privileged few. And that's exactly why Donald Trump's renewed praise of Vladimir Putin during his recent meeting with President Zelensky has raised so many concerns. Let's break down exactly what happened and what it means.
Yeah, Friday you said you had a cordial meeting with President Zelensky. During that meeting, did you tell him he needed to cede all of the Donbass region to Russia?
No, we never discussed it. We think that what they should do is just stop at the lines where they are, the battle lines. You have a battle line right now. The rest is very tough to negotiate. If you're going to say, you take this, we take that, there's so many different permutations. So what I say is they should stop right now at the battle lines. Go home, stop killing people, and be done.
What do you think should happen with the Donbass region then?
Let it be cut the way it is. It's cut up right now. I think 78% of the land is already taken by Russia. You leave it the way it is right now. They can negotiate something later on down the line. But I said cut and stop at the battle line. Go home. Stop fighting. Stop killing people.
What do you think?
Donald Trump continues to reveal day after day just how unsteady his leadership truly is. It was only about a month ago, maybe even less, that he called Russia a paper tiger, correctly pointing out the cracks in its economy and military. For a moment, it seemed like he understood that Ukraine was holding strong and making progress in this war. But all it took was one phone call, one flattering comment from Vladimir Putin for Trump to completely change his tone. That single moment of praise was enough for him to reverse course entirely. And that tells us everything we need to know about his leadership. How easily he's influenced, how quickly he caves to pressure, and how often he puts personal approval over national interest. This isn't just weakness. It's dangerous. Because when Donald Trump lets other world leaders manipulate him, it's not just about him. It's about the American people who end up paying the price. And some of the hardest hit are the very people who believed he was fighting for them. Our farmers. Trump claims to be helping them, but his recent comments and actions say otherwise. Let's take a closer look at what he said and what it really means for America's rural communities.
What do you have to say to U.S. farmers who feel that the deal is benefiting Argentina more than it is them, as they are
Argentina's fighting for its life, young lady. You don't know anything about it. They're fighting for their life. Nothing's benefiting Argentina. They're fighting for their life. You understand what that means? They have no money. They have no anything. They're fighting so hard to survive. If I can help them survive in a free world, I happen to like the president of Argentina. I think he's trying to do the best he can. But don't make it sound like they're doing great. They are dying. All right? They're dying.
What do you mean by
So, $40 billion for Argentina, all to help out a few powerful figures on Wall Street looking for a financial rescue. Then billions more sent to Israel as the violence continues. And what about America's farmers? They're left behind once again. Our agricultural workers, especially those growing soybeans, are being hit the hardest. Let's not forget Donald Trump's 2019 trade war already did massive damage to U.S. soybean production. When China stopped buying from American farmers, much of that business shifted overseas, including to Argentina. And now, the same country benefiting from that shift is getting a major financial boost from Trump. We could all see this coming. Vice President Harris even warned that this approach would backfire. But instead of standing up for U.S. farmers, Trump continues to prioritize deals abroad while calling it America First. And now, as he faces questions about his so-called ceasefire with one of our allies, Trump's latest comments about Israel's recent strike on Gaza raise even more concerns. Here's what he had to say.
Do you feel that Israel was justified with striking when it did?
Striking where?
In Gaza, today and overnight?
I'd have to get back to you on that. I'd have to get back.
What is the next step?
Because we're going to be determined. You know, all of that's is under consideration right now. It's under review.
I've got to say, does he know or does he not? Might become the new game to play whenever Donald Trump is asked about something serious. You know how it goes. A reporter brings up a major story, something headline-grabbing, and every Republican suddenly claims they haven't seen it. It's always the same line, "Oh, I'm not sure about that," or "I didn't catch that one," even when it's right there in front of them. But with Donald Trump, the question almost feels literal. Is it confusion or is it avoidance? Either way, it's not leadership. And while all of this chaos unfolds, one thing remains painfully clear. The violence in the Middle East continues. Despite all the talk of ceasefires and peace efforts, the situation shows no real signs of stopping. That's why it's so important that we keep speaking up, keep reporting, and keep pushing for truth. If you want to support this kind of honest conversation, as always, hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stayed with us till the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. Keep standing strong. Don't let anyone silence you. And until next time, I will see you soon.